Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Thank you for voting for my next project. The winner is the Soviet-built tactical fighter bomber, the Sukhoi Su-22M4 Fighter K from Kovozávody Prostejov. This kit is very special for me because it reminds me of my childhood. Let's check out the molds. They are quite decent for an old kit. Panel lines could be a little deeper, but there is something I can do about it. The model also contains a mechanism for changing the geometry of the wings. Parts like wheel wells, landing gear legs, jet nozzle, cockpit and the weapons don't have much details. They definitely need to be modified. The cockpit canopy looks very nice. It also contains parts for the two-seater version of the machine. The instruction manual is a bit weak. For example, it doesn't contain any information about the color of the interior surfaces. So more Google studying. The Waterslide decal sheet includes decals for a Polish, Mongolian, Syrian and Iranian aircraft. But I think I will go my own way on this. Cool! I think that this build will be a lot of fun. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for not missing any new notifications. Okay, let's start with the build. During the whole building process, I will use photo etch metal parts from the other models. Let's build the cockpit. The ejection seat includes only 4 parts and it's easy to assemble. The cockpit tab has a big ugly molding hole. It needs to be filled up with putty. After drying, I removed the putty with a chisel and smoothed it out with sandpaper. Before application, I clean and degrease the PE parts with clear alcohol. For the applying, I use Loctite cyanide acrylic superglue. The Yadar model metal parts are great, they are easy to work with. The most work is on the ejection seat. I have to glue like 18 metal parts to it. Next is a front instrument panel. Unfortunately, the metal instrument panel is much bigger than the original plastic one. I have to modify the cockpit tab a little bit. I have to cut out some plastic. And of course, I had to dry fit and adjust the instrument panel several times. On the first time, only with one half of the fuselage and then with both. The fit is almost fine, but the instrument panel is still a bit wide. I'm going to have to narrow it down for a perfect fit. After some more dry fitting and cutting, the fit is great. Finally, and the front cockpit canopy fits also. I'm satisfied with the result. Before painting, I also glued the PE metal part jet nozzle. The cockpit is ready for painting. Now I unite the surface with Mr. Surfacer 1000. For the cockpit parts I chose the Mr. Color 334 barely grey color, and for the ejection seat, C2 black. The metal parts have very nice details of the avionics panel and instrument panel. I decided to paint them by hand. And of course, the throttle lever is made out of thick plastic stick. I also paint some tiny additional details like push buttons, switches and awareness lights. On the ejection seat, I paint the seat belts, metal buckles and other small details. Now I highlight all cockpit parts with a dry brush and add a dark wash. The wash can be easily removed with an emerald odorless thinner. The other model Melo parts accessories have nice details of the multifunctional display. I paint the display with a bright green color and glue the grill parts with a PVA glue. Next, I work on the Clan 54 laser rangefinder. I had to cut some plastic to fit the grill part. After that, I paint the target designator with an aluminum color and glue the clear part window with a PVA glue. Before gluing the fuselage together, I glue the cockpit, jet nozzle and the Clan 54 laser rangefinder. As for the cockpit, I rather glue only the cockpit top first, and then I will gradually add parts like the instrument panel, and after gluing the fuselage, also the control stick and ejection seat. The laser rangefinder, cockpit top and the jet nozzle are glued in place. Now I glue the two fuselage parts together. For an old school kit, the fuselage fit is good. I'm surprised. To hold the parts together, I use my Rebel modeling clamps. After gluing the fuselage together, I glue the control stick and the ejection seat into the cockpit. The photo edge instrument panel sits very good with the front instrument cover. I am happy that there is no gap between them. For a nicer look, I blend the fit with a black paint. Next, I work on the wings. The fit is good, but the gap is too wide for my taste. I will fill it up with putty. The fixed part of the wings have no pegs. I had to progress slowly. To achieve a good fit, I again help myself with rival modeling clamps. I didn't add the mechanism for the wing sweep. The fixed wing fit is so tight that there is no use for it. All I have to do is change the wing sweep by hand. The wings hold their angle beautifully. Unfortunately, the fixed wing fit isn't the best. I will have to use lots of putty. Before filling the model's cap with putty, I glue the heads-up display and the front cockpit canopy. The model is ready for filling. For filling up the gaps, I use Mr. White putty from Mr. Hobby. It will take some time for the putty to dry. Meanwhile, I will work on the fitter's landing gear, weapon hardpoints and weapons. The model's short-range air-to-air R-60M missiles are too thick and inaccurate. I will not use them. Instead, I replace them with R-60M missiles from Edward. The kit includes more weapon hardpoints, so I will equip the model with two laser-guided Ha-29L air-to-surface missiles from my Italeri Sukhoi Su-34 fullback kit. Under the fuselage hardpoints, I will add the two big PTB-800 external fuel tanks. And I will also use the kit's P-8M rocket launchers. The weapons have also some fit imperfections. I must fill these imperfections with putty. Now for the landing gear. They have visible molding lines. These lines must be removed. I want my model to look more than ordinary. I often add some hydraulics and cabling. For this procedure, I will use lead, copper and metal wires. The lead wires are a very good accessory. It's very easy to work with. I also add some hydraulics and cabling for the wheel wells. For some lead wires, I had to drill some holes. When I'm already upgrading the landing gear and the wheel wells, I also work on the landing gear covers and wheel rims. I decided to use the Yadar model PE parts. They are much better than the landing gear covers from the kit. To fit the PE parts, I had to cut out some plastic from the wheel rims. After that, the applying was fast. The putty dried out after 5 hours. I sent down the excessive putty underwater with a P600 and P1000 sandpaper. Alright, that's enough for this video. In the second part of the Su-22M4 build, I add more PE parts, add more accessories, paint a model, add decals and play with the weathering a bit. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, comment or share. Stay tuned for the next video. Until then, goodbye friends.